welcome.
Oh, she hasn't done her part yet.
Oh, we're not ready.
Today's meeting is being streamed live on the Township of Ramara's YouTube channel. To those present in the gallery today, by attending a public meeting of the Ramara Trails Committee, you are consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded, and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair, secretary, and/or director of infrastructure have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of the live streaming. Such discretion will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory, or potentially inappropriate to be published. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if their actions result in inappropriate and/or unacceptable behavior and/or comments. I will now pass the meeting to the chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah, and good morning, all. Moving on to item number 2, the adoption of the agenda for today. Could I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Michael move.
Mike, a seconder, please. Hannah, any questions about the agenda? All in favor? Carried. Item number 3, the minutes for today's meeting, the minutes of October 16th, 24 meeting. Could I have a motion to receive those minutes? Dana, seconder. Annalyn, any questions about the minutes? If not, all in favor? Carried. We have a copy, item 4.1, a copy of the meeting schedule for 2025 in your package. Any questions about that or comments? Okay, could I have a motion then to approve that schedule? Dana, a seconder.
Michael seconded.
Mike, all in favor of that? Carried. Okay, and now the financial report. Mike?
Again, we haven't spent very much money, but I know there'll be some coming through shortly, but so we have a surplus of 60,000, if my glasses are working right. Yeah, 60,000, and I'm sure we'll spend all of that before the end of the year. So that's all I have to report.
Questions, anyone, comments? Michael, on that, it says here, the budget remaining is 77,497, not 60, right?
Yes, but the surplus is down at the bottom of 60,000, and so what line are you looking at there?
I'm looking at the budget remaining with the most right hand.
Yes, yeah, so that's the budget remaining, which nets down to the 60,000. So we have 75,000 budget in trail studies and work to be spent, and that's. So,
77,000.
Yeah, so that's over under. And so we haven't spent any money on the trail study and work, so there's $75,000 that can be spent.
What about the 4655?
That's other services that we can be spending too, but we spent other items up above.
And as we have like more revenue, so as like some expenses come in and then we get some grant money, then the revenues will also increase. So that's why Mr. Bunn said with that 60,000, because we do have a little bit more money, but we have to have more revenues that will then pay off those expenses,
That's right, exactly.
which will be coming in the next couple months.
I'm glad I'm not an accountant. You guys figures keep moving around
Well,
all.
of course they do, and we're waiting for some big hits to it.
I just got put in this morning, so.
Oh, did you?
Well, maybe we'll get to all the grant stuff later. Could I have a motion to accept the financial report?
Mike want to move.
Mike and a seconder, Steve, thank you. All in favor? Carried. The correspondence from Charlotte. Would you like to speak to that, Charlotte?
Yeah, so you've got it there in the agenda package. So on October 21st, the Ontario government tabled Bill 212, Reducing Gridlock, Saving You Time Act 2024. And that framework includes it includes a framework for bike lanes that would require the removal of a traffic lane. So the ERO issued a statement on the proposed legislation. They're accepting feedback until today. And you can, there's that link there that I have in the package. So basically, I think as I understand it, and Josh, you can correct me if I've got it wrong, is that if we're proposing a bike lane that might remove a traffic lane, then this would make it so that you need to seek permission basically from the provincial government to proceed. It also means that if you have an existing bike lane that might have involved removing a traffic lane, they could say, yeah, that's not, you can't continue with that, and that needs to be returned to traffic. So the reason I brought this up is because this committee's been working very hard at connectivity, and there are bike lanes along traffic lanes, and maybe in the future we might want to proceed with something. So I thought it was worthwhile bringing it forward. A lot of municipalities across the province have been sending letters and providing feedback. Midland, I don't know that I have it in here. Oh yeah, I did. I did include what Midland did. Their active transportation committee submitted a motion to council, and I believe that was passed. So they're going to send a letter. I have another letter that was created by, and it's not in the package, and I don't know if I'm allowed to even bring that up if it's not in the package. Somebody can stop me. I'm okay. So there's another letter that I got from where I have a pile of paper, and it is from the Ontario Society of Physical Activity Promoters and Public Health. So their letter is mostly focused on the health and well-being aspects of having bike lanes. So I've got that as an example here. City of Aurelia brought it up to their council at the November 18th meeting. I don't know what their decision was, but they also had support from Sustainable Aurelia. Sustainable Aurelia submitted a letter to support the motion, and basically the motion for City of Aurelia was that to provide correspondence to further request the provincial government to consider investing in funding public transportation goals to reduce traffic congestion and aid future developments to be built with less parking, and that the correspondence includes support for the resolution dated September 24th, 2024 from the City of Guelph, and that the correspondence be submitted to the Ministry of Transportation's online comment tool found, and the link is in what I sent to Hannah by November 20th, and I know that's today, might not be possible, but yeah, so that's basically what I brought forward. I thought, because our committee is all about trails and promoting cycling, that this might be one not to let pass by. So I don't know.
Questions, comments? Steve?
I think in a general sense, anything we can do to try to slow the province down in terms of their narrow focus on things and try to get them to look at the bigger picture would be beneficial.
Dana?
I understand there's not much turnaround time to get a letter in or comments to the ERO, so I would think maybe it might be smart just to, if Aurelia does have something already written, wheel already invented, that would be maybe wise to submit something very similar. Just not only for our purposes, but also in support of our sister municipalities.
So the 20th, when's the 20th?
Today,
Today,
yeah,
so it has to be in today.
that was the deadline. And I believe that's by design. They didn't give a lot of time for comments.
Kathy has her hand up. I think she has a question.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, not a question, just a comment. So I appreciate that you brought this up, and I sit on Velo Canada Bikes, which is a national advocacy cycling group, and we've also had a webinar with Cycle Toronto, and this is an important issue that if there's any way that we can send some sort of supporting letter like Aurelia did, or any way that we can comment, I think the more the better. And agree with Steve, I think we need to comment on this. So thanks for bringing it up.
Dana?
It's my understanding that I think any decision, if we decided that this would be a great idea, that it would have to be approved by council first, and we're not meeting again until next Monday, the 25th.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, now here's an idea, and stop me if I'm going too far, but I just recently joined the Ontario Trails Council, and I'm certain that they would be submitting a response. You know, I wonder if it would also be like, you know, to sort of indicate that our Trails Committee, you know, within their letter would be supportive of their letter. I don't know, but that's probably stepping outside of Ramara boundaries, so I don't know.
And I don't know, like, I'm not an expert at this by any means. I wondered, like, as far as resolutions go, would that help? Like, I know that you could pass a resolution to support what Aurelia sent or what Midland's done. Like, that could be done, maybe?
But it would still have to be approved by council.
Yeah.
So if you would just want to document it on our minutes that we support, we can absolutely do that. That's what the Trails Committee is, as a motion is able to write that. And then it's just the actual written statement to them.
So what all that would really do is let council know that we were opposed.
Yeah.
It wouldn't get anything to the province.
Exactly.
Dana?
There's also nothing stopping any individual from submitting a comment individually to the ERO.
Correct.
So there should be a link within there. I've got an account myself with the ERO, so submitting comments is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed as a counselor to do that kind of thing individually, but I would say that anybody on this committee would be able to.
Yeah, and from an impact to the physical art township, to remove a lane for a bike lane is removing the road. We don't have multi-lane roads in the township other than MTO roads. Yeah.
Who knows what
Yes,
happens
yeah,
in the future,
yeah.
Josh? Brecken could become like some sort of mecca,
Yeah.
University town.
right? Who knows? I don't wanna, close that door. I'm thinking big.
Yeah. No, but yeah, in the future, it'd be good to support for sure, and individuals are able to as well, so.
And I guess the council from Ramara and people in Ramara are interested in bike lanes across the province and travel, like, well, Kathy, for example, travels widely on her bike. So it does impact people in Ramara for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think your motion could have that within it, and then when council sees it too, it just provides that that resolution, that support, even though that there's not that written support to them, there is that municipal support too as well, when it gets approved by council, so I think that's a great way.
It's also, I think, and of course I think you're all aware of this, it doesn't really matter how many lanes we open up to traffic. They all get filled
Yes,
with cars.
that's right.
You know, it doesn't really, to take away the bike lane and add a lane where they're talking about in Toronto, the lane's just gonna fill up with cars. That's just what happens. And it's proven.
That's
So-
right. Well, the solution isn't to make it easier to drive by car. The solution is to make it easier to travel through an active transportation method. Dana's daughter did an excellent presentation that kind of spoke to some of that. So, yeah, we're the solution. We need to start using other methods to get around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we need a motion
Yeah,
then.
what do we want to do?
Let Charlotte word a motion for us.
I mean, I have what City of Aurelia put in, because I think I brought their minutes too and all this pile of paper. So I can read out what they did and you guys can, so they said, this came from the Transportation and Parking Working Group, request for council support regarding provincial oversight of bike lanes. And said that further to the correspondence dated November 1st, 2024 from the City of Aurelia Transportation and Parking Working Group. So we put our bits in there. Council provide correspondence to the Ministry of Transportation to oppose the provisions contained in Bill 212, Reducing Gridlock, Saving You Time Act 2024 regarding restrictions to municipal bike lane placement as being counter to, and their points were best practices in transportation management, climate change initiatives, cost management for future infrastructure maintenance, development goals contained within Bill 185, and economic benefits to businesses. And that the correspondence further requests the provincial government to consider investing in funding public transportation goals to reduce traffic congestion and aid further developments to be built with less parking. And that the correspondence includes support for the resolution dated September 24th, 2024 from the City of Guelph. And that the correspondence be submitted to the Ministry of Transportation's online comment tool. And that was the ERO thing by November 20th, 2024 comment deadline, and copied to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honorable Parameet Singh Sarkaria, Minister of Transportation, and the Honorable Jill Dunlop, Minister of Education and Member of Provincial Parliament for Simcoe North. So they talked about the ERO comment, but then they added the others, so.
So what I would do is maybe take out the ERO, you could still write a letter.
Yeah.
Opposing, and ceasing, those ministers, at Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Minister of Transportation, and the Honorable Jill Dunlop, MPP, so we can still do that and just take out the ERO piece.
Yeah.
And keep it relatively simple, just that we oppose the removal of bike lanes. And for the following reasons.
Yes, I think just kind of what we have there, and maybe we can copy and provide that for Hannah, just so that she has that copy of it.
Yeah.
But we could take out the other parts of it.
Yeah.
We could write a letter though, we oppose it and to those individuals. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was on the November 18th agenda. I just.
Well, it's just crazy that the turnaround time is so.
Yeah, but that, I think that's by design though, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they wanna push this through and they don't really want a lot of opposition.
Yeah,
So, yeah, right? So that's really it, but I think, actually, I shared what Midland did too, so there could be like,
so,
Yeah, we have to decide that today as we make those resolutions.
yeah,
So sometimes we can have these drafted beforehand too, so that way,
Yeah.
It makes it easier for the group, but basically we could just say, that further to the correspondent dated November 20th, 2024 from the Ramara Trails Committee. Council provide correspondence to the Ministry of Transportation to oppose provisions contained in Bill 212, Reducing Gridlock, Saving You Time Act 2024, regarding restrictions to municipal bike lane placements with the different criteria. And that correspondence be submitted to the ministry and copied to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honorable, and then we can go through those individuals and just end it there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, but are you suggesting we still send a letter?
That's right,
Yeah,
yep, and that
absolutely.
correspondence be submitted.
Okay, so who's gonna put letter?
That has to go to council, and then if council approves that, then,
There will be a letter written.
yeah, so we would just be requesting this to go on to that next agenda, which it probably won't be for the November 25th, it'd be for the December 9th.
Okay, okay.
So Midland worded theirs a little bit differently, but I mean, we could pull from both of them to suit our needs. But I think I'd sent that, and that's in the agenda package. So what Midland said was, whereas the government of Ontario recently introduced legislation reducing gridlock, Saving You Time Act, that would require municipalities to secure provincial approval before building any bike lanes that reduce number of marked lanes available for travel by motor vehicle traffic. And whereas this act would counter the following. So Midland's multimodal transportation plan, best
Yeah,
practices. and
they're all the
transportation,
same
they're
thing,
all
just worded
pretty
different.
much the same, right?
Yeah.
Like you could,
It
I
is.
just, yeah, I just like Aurelia added to sending the letter to all those extra people, right?
That, because that's what was outlined in the ERO.
Anyways, it's
Okay,
all
so-
there.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
So are we going with the motion that Ashley suggested?
I believe that's simple and direct. I think that works in my head.
Okay, perfect, just so that I can go back and fix the motion.
Okay.
Charlotte will move.
Would you move the motion?
I can move it. Am I allowed to?
Seconder? Okay, Dana?
Put the motion on the floor.
I don't know if I can put, I move it because I couldn't.
All in favor of the motion? Carried.
Did we need
Thank you.
Yeah, we need a different seconder.
Okay.
I had a different seconder.
Well,
Kathy also had her hand up.
Okay, so it'd be Kathy and Larry, okay.
Yes, because I.
Sorry, who was it? Kathy and,
Larry.
thank you.
Do you mind if I keep this?
Go ahead, yeah, I just printed it off the city earlier.
Okay, thank you for that, Charlotte.
No problem.
It just sort of strikes me as a bit of a power grab. You know, I'm sure the city of Toronto will be
They're all over it.
living.
Well, Kathy knows because Kathy's on the.
Dana?
Just, because I do know that these things sometimes can catch you off guard, and then there's, next thing you know, the deadline is very close. What I've done in the past with ERO notices is you can sign up with them for alerts. So, for example, if you're interested in hearing about any kind of, I don't know, quarry applications or other things like that, then you'll get an email saying, hey, guess what? This was just posted on the ERO, and then you've got basically, you know, the maximum amount of time to be able to see what's involved and create some kind of comment if you'd like to submit a comment. So that's maybe an idea for us to do on the Trails Committee, is that everybody sign up with the ERO, sign up for alerts pertaining to trails, roads, that kind of thing, and then we'd be sort of first to know when they came up.
Really, so you just Google.
I can send you the link to the ERO. Yeah, because it should be within that same link that Charlotte had sent with this ERO. There's like sort of a main page. You can register for an account, and then from there you can just sign up for alerts of what you'd like to receive and whatever you want pretty much, and then you'll just receive those emails.
Why don't you send that to everybody in the
Sure.
Trails Committee?
Okay.
Okay.
And I mean, to back that up, I tend to, because I have a team member that's on the Rural Transportation Committee, like she's got a pretty good feel for what's happening, so she really flags, like she flagged that one for me. and said, we really need to bring that to our municipal partners, so that's kind of like the backup. If we miss it, I'm pretty sure I'll catch it through my teammate.
Item number 5.1, project and trail updates. The Atherley Trail, Paul and Annalyn. Paul?
Yes, the center barrier posts have been removed and the gates opened so for winter use for the trail groomer. The only thing is the gates are still closed at Ramara Road because they have a township lock on them. Other than that, the trail's ready for winter use.
Okay, thank you.
That gate will be open prior to the groomers using it, but it won't be open prior to that.
Okay.
So to update the Ramara Road resurfacing project, it was awarded, it was completed. The invoice was submitted this morning for payment. So we're right on that, we're just below the $60,000 earmark for that one. 15,000 from the township, 15,000 from Rama, and 30,000 from Simcoe County. So that project is complete. Everything looks good. We've been out there, we've checked it. The casino trail. So we did have all specifications sent out to Rama First Nations. They've approved it. They declined to bid to complete the work for that section of trail. They just don't have the time this year to be able to do it prior to the deadline of the end of December. So we did go out to tender. We got 2 bids back from contractors that have done work for us in the past. One bid was just over $130,000. The second bid was just over $86,000. So we're within our budget for that project. 75 from the township and then 75,000 from the township. The balance coming from TCT. Everything's been awarded. The contractor is supposed to be starting hopefully the first week of December to have it completed before the end of December. So the only thing we had to alter with the designs. So where we're coming through the physical casino property, we've had to narrow the trail out to 1.5 meters to be able to fit it within where they kind of wanted the trail to go through. And then the trail is gonna be going through a rear parking lot versus on top of those raised medians. So there's a couple curb cuts, but it actually limited the work, which brought pricing down, which was a big benefit. There'll be a big excavation at the north side of the casino property at Benson Road, just to get the AODA gradient requirements. And then through Benson up to Airport Road, it's just clearing and grubbing and then putting down new material. So that's pretty straightforward there. So everything seems to be on track right now for it. We'll be keeping an eye on it to make sure we stay on track. And it's going to be 4 brothers doing the work. So.
Good. So through the parking lot, is it going just to the east of those bollards or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be.
Yeah, so we're gonna be coming where the sidewalk would be if you're on the outside perimeter of the entire parking lot.
Yes.
We're gonna come up a bit towards where their office facility is. And then do a curb cut into the parking lot and go straight across to the sidewalk on the other side.
Okay.
So there won't be a physical marked trail within that parking lot. They're gonna lose 1 parking space with the project.
So there won't be lines or anything?
No,
No, okay.
no, not yet, unless they determine they want them in the
How
future.
will people know that's where it is?
It'll be marked by essentially the trail leading into the parking lot, and then once you get through the parking lot, the sidewalk starts on the other side.
Oh, okay, okay. Dana?
I guess because this is still part of that same trail, I noticed about a week ago that CN has brought their living quarter cars back for storage, but they didn't bring them across to the east side of Rammer Road. They stopped them right right around Portage Bay Road between there and Oakland Beach. And I'm just wondering if they're deciding to store their cars west of Rammer Road, does that open up the rest of that rail line over there too? No?
No, it's still an active rail line.
All right, I just thought maybe they were saying, okay, here you go, we'll just do this.
I don't think they have all the equipment in as of yet.
Oh, okay.
It might be staged until the balance of the equipment comes in.
Okay.
I know, is David with us anywhere?
No.
No. I know that he had mentioned a couple of meetings ago that he wondered if there was any chance that that we could get permission to build a trail up as far as Longford Mills. And I don't know whether he ever did that or not, because that's where our trail on Rammer Road begins.
Yeah.
And he followed through, I don't know. But that's a question we can ask him in another meeting. Anything else on the casino trail? Well, that's great. I also went up to Ram. I saw the trail. They got a long ways. How far did they get?
Yeah, so originally when we tendered it, we only tendered to Camp Wahanawin based on the amounts that we had prior year. Because it was only half of what we anticipated it to be, we worked with the contractor to go as far as we could to stay within our budget. So they made it pretty well to Quarry Point. I think it's 40 meters from Quarry Point they got to. So in future years, we'll just continue working north.
So it was, Jermaine, how far is it? You know?
I think it was like 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 kilometers.
Okay.
So
It
it turned out good. Yeah.
Who did it?
That was Robinson Hollage that did that section. So,
And they packed it with their packer?
yeah, they had a roller there with them.
Roller
So,
there.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I just had a question. I guess there was some confusion about, so was that Robinson Hollage that did that the whole way, like for the park going across the former Geneva Park property? Was that done at all or contributed to by that property owner, or was it all our project that we had?
So there was some remediation by the gas project, but to make all the materials blend together, we went over it with our contractor.
I see. Okay, so we're not in anybody's obligation or anything. Okay.
Okay, the Bayshore Trail, the status of the Orkney Beach. Kathy, are you still there?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Josh what the status of Orkney Beach was.
Yeah, so the trail is in. We met.
Yeah, I was riding through.
Oh, really? It's done.
So the
They were
trail's-
working on it as I was going through.
Yeah. So the trail's done. That kind of leads into the second part, the gates. The gates are being fabricated right now. They should be done within a week or so, and then we have to bring them up to get galvanized. As soon as they're galvanized, we'll be installing those gates, but the physical trail is in, it's been completed, so.
How'd you do it? I was trying to figure out what you were gonna do.
So we did a 10-foot trail essentially through the fence there. There still is a
From the
tree
east side?
from Fountain to Orkney, yeah.
Okay,
So there still is a tree that has to be removed, but I didn't want to remove the tree until we had the gates in because I figured I'd get in trouble if I did beforehand, so.
so where's the gate going? In the middle? Or?
It'll probably go in the middle because it's now been an assumed township property that we have to maintain for the winter. So the gates will be spread enough apart that I can get a pickup plow through if needed, but not a typical snow plow.
Okay, so that people can drive in from each end and park if they own.
There's
property.
no parking there, no.
But for their homes?
Yeah, the people that live
Live
there have
there.
parking in their driveways, but there's no trail parking.
No, I know, yeah, of course, yeah. So, well, that's super,
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah.
And I never got any response from the principal at Grove to promote it. They just sort of said, thank you for the information, basically, and that was that.
Yeah, it was about a month ago. I think we did the work. It's been there for a month. So.
Well, I was there about a month ago.
No,
Guess I
you're just
missed
before.
it. That's great. Just going back to Kathy and the casino, or to Paul and Ann Lynn, the casino trail. And Kathy, we were going to have an opening with Rama. Have you thought more about that, Kathy, or?
Yeah, I like the idea, and especially because it ends up at the farm now. Like if it goes to Airport Road, it'll end up at the Rama farm. So I think some sort of like blessing or opening, and then I don't know. I know at one point I think we talked about maybe some Indigenous signage along that. But I haven't specifically talked to anybody at Rama. I can if that's the will of the committee.
I could reach out for communications, like to their communications individuals, to see if there is things that they would like to do. Once the trail is completed, signage and things like that is something we could look at in 2025 or even 2026, depending on if there's maybe signage through the TCT that they provide like 100% funding or things like that, or maybe Rama has different types of signage. I wouldn't know that, but I could work with our comms individual to look at about an opening and seeing what we could do with our members of council or trails committee and themselves.
Winter is sort of a bad time to try and do it, but maybe in the spring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially for some of our trails and really promoting like the new Orkney part would be great in like that spring and summer. And we can do little stage things next year to really kind of promote the different trails that we have. I think that might be a nice thing for that spring and summer.
I can mention that the Orkney bit to the school health nurse for Upper Grove again and see if maybe we can get a little traction again when the weather's better.
Yes, because we were going to try and do something there too to promote that.
Yeah, well, to get the kids biking to school maybe.
Yeah, and it might be fun to get the kids to bike over to the farm at some point in the spring too. That would be a nice thing to promote the trail.
That's a different school. That's not Upper Grove though.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the Rama school.
But it could be done. I think our school health nurse goes to Rama Central too. I can ask.
Yeah.
We'll just need motions for any actions for any members of staff.
Okay, just there.
Well, I was just going to point out that Rama Central is on 169, but I am part of a parent advocacy group and supporting Indigenous students at the school. And they have been talking about making joint trips with Rama kids to things like the farm or Black River Ranch, campgrounds to do outdoor education types of opportunities. So I really like the idea of, having, focusing on, schools and being able to, plan events like that with the signage. I think it's great.
So you can reach out to Ashley to Rama.
Yeah, so what we can do in part of that motion is for staff to contact and plan spring and summer trail openings. Like maybe just having it just general like that would work really well. So that way we can kind of integrate a lot of different partners. So when it comes to the trail in Rama, so whether it is Rama First Nation or if there's any other different type of organizations that would be like to be part of it, as well as the Orkney Trail, any type of organizations or the school who would like to be part of that, we could do that, certainly.
There might be a way to combine that with the Ontario Active School Travel, because they have special days in the spring.
Yep.
That might be a nice way to tie it in too.
Yeah.
So
for staff to, I think I said it, but I don't remember, but for staff to investigate and plan spring
Spring and
summer
summer trail openings.
openings for the Rama Trail and Orkney Beach Trail, or the Rama and Orkney Beach Trail.
You got it. I'll just need a,
could I have a seconder for that motion?
Who made the motion?
Who made the motion? I can't make a motion. That staff doesn't have a.
I'll make the motion.
Mike made the motion and Kathy seconded the motion. Any other
amazing.
comments on the motion? All in favor? Carried. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
So we're now down to the Lagoon City Trail. All is well there. The gates are open. The only thing, the path to the 1909 bridge up at the 6th concession, where Paul's picnic table sits, needs to be cut out. So I thought that that's something I could do myself or with one person to help in the spring.
Oh, cut the grass.
Yeah, to get across that little bridge we have there.
We don't have a bridge.
Yes, we do. Yeah. We built it, it's been there about 5 years. You probably can't see it because the grass has grown so tall. People are still crawling through, but. Huh?
That could be a follow-up after.
That's news to me. Okay, the 7th Ramara Trail, the only thing I have there, the directional sign, trail directional sign at 47 and concession B on 47, the northeast corner is missing. I can send you a note on that. I think that disappeared when they were doing the road.
Larry, moving forward, when you see those things, if you could put in a service request under trail maintenance, so that way that's logged and tracked, and then we can create the work order through there for our guys.
I suggested I do that, and Josh whispered, no, I'll look after
Okay. But moving forward, that would be great.
Yes, thank you. Special features.
I have one thing that could possibly be under special features. It's related to the trails. So the 2025 Cycle Simpo has a partnership program. So they have maps. So their website, they have maps as well as other marketing packages that they put out. I know with their maps, there's about 10,000 maps that gets distributed through the county of Simcoe as well as throughout the world. So I made sure all of the updated trails are on there. They also will have, because we're no longer with Aurelia and Lake Country, we will have our own little ad to be put in there as well. So for this year, it's free for us to be promoting Ramara and all of our trails and cycling routes. But for future years, it will cost $750 each year. It would be something that I think the Ramara Trails Committee could budget for, because I think it's really just really promoting what we have in this area. So I will make sure that our trails are always updated, whether through mapping or on that paper copy. The paper copy won't have that Rama part on it because I wasn't 100% sure. The mapping will have it, and then 2026 that printed copy will have it, just because they needed it printed off in September. And so I didn't want things that weren't done on there, so just in case.
So it won't be on up to Airport Road.
Until 2026. It will on their online mapping though.
So actually, I really like that, because I have people saying to me, where are the trails? And I said, well, if you go online, you know, that's, people like a piece
Yes.
of paper.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. And then we'll make sure we have them here as well. And it'll be nice just to have our little bit of information. So it's just about just less than 1/4 by 5.5 inches little ad that we'll have in all of those mapping that will go out to everyone.
So it's like,
Kathy has her hand up for a question.
That's
sorry.
great. That's great, Ashley. Thanks for doing that. So my question is, does that also flag to do the GPX mapping? So across Orkney Beach and
Yep,
then I
Yep, they're planning on doing that. Absolutely. Yep, they're in the process. I did ask them to do it. So when they have the time, they're going to be updating that GPS coordinates for that part of the route. I asked that probably back in September. So it's just for the county of Simcoe finding the time, but they should be doing it if they haven't already done it and sent me the information.
So will that also include to Airport Road?
The airport road will be after it's finished, right? So probably wouldn't be until next year that we can request them to do that
But
part.
we won't have to wait for that mapping to 26.
All online stuff will be updated immediately.
Immediately.
It's just the paper version that they had to make sure was completed. So I just didn't want to say yes to something prior to it being done.
Just explain to me again what the paper copy is. So is it a little booklet thing or?
Yeah,
For all of Simcoe County?
all of Simcoe County, yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
and in that booklet, one little section will be Ramara.
absolutely, yeah. It will all be in regards to little sections. So if you've looked at the way the county of Simcoe has done their tourism, it's kind of separated in different regions. So we'll be part of that like North Simcoe region. So it'll look at all the different trails within our areas. Yeah, there we go, right there. Thank you, Anne. Oh, look at this, see? This is why. So we'll have all of the updated maps for all of it to show where we are.
Okay,
Yeah, so it'll be a nice thing that we'll have here at the township office as well as any other places like the Ramara Center. So people can provide that hand copy as well as Kathy mentioned, some of our cycling routes for those cycling who want to download the GPS coordinates. I did ask the county Simcoe just update that one trail through Orkney. I know that we're just updating that signage when there's time and the signs come in, but I've asked them to do that part as well. So when they have time, they'll update that too.
and that one will be out for 25 when?
I'm not sure the date it comes out. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, I think that's good because people like a piece of paper.
Mhm.
And I don't know how we distribute that, but maybe if each trail member just had a few copies.
Yeah. I can ask that for that. So yeah, so this year it's free, but then any following year, just because Aurelia Lake Country provides money towards that, to contribute to the county of Simcoe, but because we're not part of that
Under Lake Country.
yes, so we would have to pay that $750.
Social media, anything else on special features? Social media?
Everyone received their gift certificate for all those winners of the different pictures. So I was gonna do a push out. It's just been very busy with budget and whatnot, but all the different pictures that we received, just another little thing on the website so people can see all the different pictures that were submitted, but we got quite a few lovely pictures, which is great.
Good.
And they're all local individuals, so it was nice to see. Yeah, and so the businesses that they requested were things like the Tim Hortons, Duckworks right in Atherley, so it all stayed within the township this week.
I'll just type my stuff up here and just let me know when you're done.
Grants.
Yep, so when it comes to the Connecting Communities grant with the Ramara Road, the final report has been submitted. Now that project is completed, so we'll receive the financial contribution from the county soon. The final report for the TCT for the trail to Airport Road, once that project is completed, that final report will be submitted. The grant in regards to the signage and gates, once those are all finished, we'll send that final report in. That one is not due till the spring anyways. And so once that is done, that report will be sent in. The township was, back in the spring, or maybe late winter, we applied for the maintenance, the TCT maintenance grant, and we didn't receive it. But then about a week ago, I got an email from them saying that they had extra money. And whether we did the project, and we did do the project, so it was just clearing some of the brushing and whatnot. So we were able to get almost 50% of the cost back. So I'm just finalizing that report and the contribution agreement. So we'll be able to receive half of that money back for the work that Josh's team did in regards to brushing and trimming and whatnot on our trails.
Just to clarify, that amount wasn't in the trails budget, it was done through structure, so. Just so you're not
Thank
looking
you.
for that.
It'll go, yes, it'll go back to the infrastructure budget. But it's still a really nice thing that maybe as we go forward, we'll continue to apply for it. And even if we don't get approved, if there is maybe funding later on in the year,
But
that,
that's the spring and fall one. we're talking
no,
about.
this is a whole different one that
What is it?
it was called a maintenance fund. And so we applied for it just to see if we would get it in regards to some of the brushing and whatnot, but they came back and said, no, unfortunately, you're not approved for the project, but then.
How much is that? How much can you?
It was only up to $10,000 and it was only a certain
Okay.
percentage.
Because Anna Lynn and Paul, what's the distance of the trail out of Atherley that has the rough screenings on it? How far does that go? How far is it rough?
Up to concession 12.
Which would be how far, Paul?
Okay, Paul,
From where to where?
the trail head to where it's got that recycled asphalt to concession 12. How far would that be?
From Atherley to concession 12?
Which has that uneven,
Kilometer, I'm guessing.
I
yes,
think,
'cause the whole trail is 5 kilometers to Mararama boundary.
1.2.
So, yeah.
It's 0.2. Because that is something that,
$60,000 for it.
how much?
And the work we just did was big, 60,000 for the same distance.
Oh, okay. So that's not gonna work. Okay, I just thought if there was ever a little bit of money floating around from somewhere, that would be a good thing to solve, because it's been bugging people forever. So anyway, we'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
And I think when it comes to grants, I haven't heard about the one that we usually get. We always get 2 each year from TCT in regards to like that.
The $1,200.
Yeah, the $1,200 that hasn't came up, but when it does, I always just apply for it right away anyways, but because we don't have a meeting in December, I will apply. So maybe just the only thing is what do we want to apply for? Just general maintenance to some of the trails and,
Well, I would think so.
okay. Okay, so then maybe the motion will be for staff to apply for the TCT winter maintenance grants.
So we used the fall maintenance.
It hasn't came out, just spring has come out.
Oh, okay, not the fall.
Yeah, it hasn't came out yet. I've been watching for it and it hasn't. The last little push out never had it in there, so they just had things about signage and bigger projects, but nothing in regards to the little ones, so I haven't heard anything about it yet.
Okay, any other questions on grants?
Give you a motion for that. We need that motion to actually apply for that fall when it comes in.
We need a motion to apply.
Just because we won't have a December meeting.
Okay,
I'll move.
Mike, will move that we apply for the fall grant when it arrives. Can I have a seconder for that motion? Charlotte. All in favor of the motion? Carry.
Sorry, this is for the TCT winter maintenance grant, Ash?
Yeah,
Phone.
it will probably be more like winter at this time.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
The TCT care grant. That's what
TCT.
I was trying to think what it was.
What gates then are we waiting for?
The ones we approved this year, so ones to go South River Road.
Yep.
Ones to go Side Road 15,
Yep,
and then I'm gonna put one at Orchid Beach.
yep. So we haven't got anything at the casino yet.
Okay, no, but in the budget, we have 3 gates for next year. That was to replace some of the ones that have been broken on
Yeah.
Ramara Road, but we can look next year, in the
That's a
January
bit
meeting.
of a dangerous place there, once people start to,
The trail's gonna be turning, so it's not gonna go straight in.
so it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, but I'm assuming Rama is most likely gonna want a set of gates because they got a concrete barrier right now at the airport road.
Yep.
Or not at airport road, sorry, at Benson.
Yep.
To airport road.
Yep.
So I was going to,
Move it.
well, we have to move it to get the work done. But when we're there, I was gonna meet with Rama to see if they want it back or if they want a gate, so. And then we'll kind of determine at that point. But if we put a gate there, we should probably have one over by Airport Road as well.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
each gate's $4,000.
Yeah.
So. So, but there is a bunch of gates that do need to be replaced on the River Road Trail already, just because they're damaged, so.
Okay, okay. Unfinished or new business? Anyone with anything? I have some things here, I just want to look through, I think we've covered them. So with the Rama Road Trail, did Trans-Canada Trail contribute? Nothing?
Nope, that one was through the county of Simcoe, the Connecting Communities grant.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So we didn't, couldn't we apply to Trans-Canada as well? Because we can double those up. And it is a Trans-Canada Trail.
Well, we probably could have, but at the time we just applied for the
Okay,
that
okay,
one.
Okay.
Because there would have, so we applied for the TCT for the airport to casino, so we couldn't have another one to Rama,
Right, I remember that.
right?
Yeah.
So we have the Connecting Communities where we, as the Trails Committee, provided 15,000.
That was that special ask to council and Ram and
Yes,
Casino
yes,
Rama.
yes,
Sorry, not
that's
Casino
right.
Rama.
Casino Rama Trails, got that all good. The Fowler Trail update.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask.
Yes.
Has there been any discussion or movement on that
No,
at
because
all?
talking with the mayor, he wants the county to, because it's county property, he wants the county to oversee it.
Okay, so,
So it's been left in the mayor's hands at this
His
point.
hands. Is he back from the south?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so maybe we can chat sort of after. I don't know whether you can stay for a minute after just to figure out how we deal with that. The Orchid Beach access is done. The Ontario Trails Council, David, do you want to speak to that?
yeah,
You mentioned it earlier, I know, but
yes, yeah, no, I was not even aware of their organization until it was brought up to me last week.
probably
And
Kathy knows all about it.
I'm sure she would, so anyway, I just thought, because I looked at the membership map and I noticed that there was a dearth of members in the Ramara area and even beyond, of anyone that belongs to the Ontario Trails Council, so I thought, oh, well, I'll sign up, right? I know that we've already finished our budget and whatever with the township, so it's not something that we can necessarily jump into right now. But just to even be able to have access to their expertise or funding ideas or anything, I thought it couldn't hurt to join and try to think a little bit more proactively, not only within Ramara, but how, to be mindful of how it looks as we're connecting through different municipalities and a bit wider. So I'm really looking forward to learning what I can there, as well as sharing we can offer towards the bigger picture with them.
They're actually looking for a board member,
They are, there's a
There's a
seat
position.
open right now.
an opening. If anyone would be interested
Mhm.
in applying for that, it's a thought.
Yes, absolutely. I actually did think of Kathy and I thought, oh, maybe she's already on it, but,
Are you there, Kathy?
I am.
Are you a member of the Ontario Trails Council?
Yeah, I'll get into it. No, I'm not a member.
Okay.
But I can look into it. I don't know much about it.
okay, I can forward you the information
I think-
that I was.
I think I forwarded a copy of that letter to everyone. Didn't you get one?
I think we did.
Okay, maybe I didn't.
No, I didn't, no.
Okay. Why don't you forward it?
Yeah, I will,
Yeah.
because it was certain, it'd be nice for somebody.
Well, I'm gonna join as a
That too.
member.
Yes.
But, yeah,
Mhm.
and maybe another year we could consider putting a membership on our trail for the Trails Committee
Mhm.
in general.
Yes,
Okay, oh, she's gone, actually. A posting for new members to the Trails Committee. We have 2 vacancies, I guess, do we? Are they vacant?
it's my understanding that, the ones that we did appoint, that's not happening, so
Okay,
I think it's 2. I know that
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
I put it out on social media, let me just double check if it's 1 or 2 spaces.
I can confirm that it's 2 vacancies right now.
Oh, thank you,
Okay.
yeah, you would know too, Anna, thank you.
So Hannah, can that be reposted so we get our full complement in the new year, kind of?
Yeah, I'm sure Ashley has her plan for posting and for the vacancies for sure.
Okay, thank you. I have no other items that I wanted to just confirm. Anything else from anyone? Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Charlotte?
Can I get that name by your seconder? Anna Lynn seconded it. All in favor of an adjournment? Thank you.
Hey, have a good day, guys.
January.
Thanks, everybody.